Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some really huge news where it does kind of seem like PlayStation has now officially broken, once again, another huge record. And now this is actually in regards now to, I believe, one of like the biggest achievements we've ever actually seen so far when it comes to consoles. Console sales are going great. Things are going huge. The prospects are going nuts. And as well, we do kind of feel like this last few months have been one of the best, if not the actual 100% best months we've ever actually seen so far. And right now we have some huge news. We also have a bit more updates in Star Wars too as well, because I told you guys kind of a big warning yesterday that a lot of things are still having issues with that. And let's go and just talk about all the news, talk about the games, talk about everything all in between before the weekend starts. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys want to follow. We have the also Twitter and Twitch I just mentioned. Make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on. Of course, with the Amazon links in case you guys do want to be a part of the console runs as of now. So right now it does kind of seem like PlayStation is going on the unstoppable tangent where it almost kind of seems like hard for them to fail. At this point, it does kind of seem like the Switch sales are going down, Xbox sales are going down, and that also even just general like gaming sales as a whole, like actual video games, accessories, and everything else in between have also been having quite a bit of big issues. But right now, it seems like the PlayStation 5 is getting its next major big stride. Now, we keep on saying as America and the UK, Canada, etc., keep on getting huge amounts of stock. We just have to wait a little bit more for places like India, China, and Japan. But even then, they're also kind of getting their, well, bearings over here. But right now, the PlayStation 5 sales are quite literally quoted as unstoppable. And Sony right now just kind of thinks this is the start. The console is now officially outpacing the PS4, which a lot of folks have been using as a pretty good rough metric. And as well, folks are even saying it might even ramp up even more thanks to the Spider-Man 2 release coming. And as well, probably even ramp even more with Final Fantasy 16. Now, as you guys may or may not have a chance to go and see, we actually saw a brand new Final Fantasy 16 bundle that was announced as of like yesterday. And also right now, we're kind of just seeing a lot more console sales still with like the Amazon links down below for the God of War consoles. So don't forget those are also built for sale for only like $10 for God of War Ragnarok, which is a fantastic deal. But all this kind of put together kind of goes and shows that everything's been going fantastic for Sony. So the PlayStation 5 continues to outperform Sony's wildest expectations. The console manufacturer announced another banner year for hardware sales, including over 6 million consoles in the last quarter alone. So I want to remind you guys on how crazy that number is. 6 million in just one quarter is insane. It actually might be hitting these numbers we keep on we're expecting. So Spider-Man 2 just around the corner, Sony says it's planning to sell an unprecedented now, and this is like some crazy things, 25 million PlayStation 5s in 2023, which is absolute insanity to me. That's huge. Those are huge numbers. They go to say, last quarter, PlayStation 5 hardware sale reached 6.3 million units, a record high for the PS consoles for the fourth quarter, and 19.1 million units for the full fiscal year 2022. Sony now wrote in its latest earnings report, which by the way, we'll have a chance to go and do a little bit more of a deep dive and talk about that probably throughout this weekend. Supply shortages are no longer an issue, with the company claiming it can now deliver a PS5 to almost anyone in the world with no wait times. And PlayStation add another 2.3 million more monthly active players compared to March 2022. So some huge things to dissect from that. Number one, the big quote. We can go and supply pretty much anyone in the world a console at almost any time. That is insanity to me. So basically, like, this means that if you're in like India, China, Japan, America, UK, Mexico, South Brazil, whatever it might be, that basically means that you have a chance to get your console almost anywhere. Now, there are still some like little bit of issues we've seen throughout the community or people on Reddit or on Twitter or wherever it might be. And folks are still having some issues in like other, let's say like seldomly, I guess, mentioned country. It's just more so because it's still harder to get. There's a lot of other competition, etc. But getting to the point where these shipments are getting very proactive, and most folks can pretty much get their consoles at almost at any point. Like even right now, we've been seeing consoles going on sale, as you guys have probably mentioned and heard a lot of my videos. But as well, we've also kind of just seen consoles just flying. They're flying off the shelves, and Sony's been doing fantastic. But as well, them also saying that supply shortages are basically no longer an issue. That once again is another huge big plus. We love seeing that. We love seeing the vibes. We love seeing the everything with that. It was actually very good. But on top of that too as well, they're also adding more monthly players. So it's not only just the fact of people buying consoles, like say PS4, PS3 folks buying consoles, it's also probably brand new users who may have never had a console before, and as well they're adding themselves to the PlayStation universe. So we all know that the PlayStation 5 was doing well, but it's already on pace to surpass the PS4 in many regards, which is also crazy too, because in theory, we're still on the PlayStation 4 cycle and people still have their PlayStation 4 consoles. So basically right now, the PlayStation 5 sales have now exceeded where the PS4 was at this point in its last life cycle. Sony now says it plans to sell another 25 million more PS5s in the year ahead, much more than the 20 million PS4s it sold in that console's third year, and the highest ever for any PlayStation console in history. So we're seeing some huge numbers, we're seeing some big stuff. If anything, go look at the chart itself over here from Kotaku, or if you guys want to have a little zoom out for it, it just goes to show on how insane this was. Look at how these numbers were. Like, I kind of remember making these like restock videos and talking about restocks around here. Some of these were very, very low. I think only just over 2 million. It's like 2.2 million. It's maybe like 3.3 or so, maybe around getting close to 4. And look at how low this was. 2 million consoles. So pretty much like these 3 quarters together were essentially some of these like bigger quarters we've had so far. But look at the projective graph. Like look at the basically like the lineup, this huge diagonal that kind of goes to show that the PlayStation 5 is getting good sources. It's doing fantastic. And let alone the fact that this past like 3 months or so, this last quarter has been even bigger. Has been even better. A lot of these consoles have been just insane to go and see, and I love it. I love seeing just the vibes of all of this. Like, it's just great. It's fantastic. So for all of us collectively, we're seeing a lot more sales, and this is just groundbreaking news. So especially significant considering the slow start that PS5 got off to, basically from all the COVID-induced supply chain issues. So once again, we kind of compare this to maybe the Xbox Series X and S, which their sales numbers have been going down. And it kind of goes to show that the PlayStation still has a very, very large amount of folks that need the consoles, want the consoles, and will be buying the consoles too as well, because they just want to make sure they can well get the hookup. So basically, contrary to earlier suggestions, Sony actually ended up making almost all of its major first-party games backwards compatible with the PS4, and even with all of that, like say like God of War Ragnarok or things like Horizon Forbidden West, with those games still be on the PS4, people still decide to go upgrade, and also have either brand new users as well. So now as more and more games become next-gen exclusives, that trend will probably accelerate. Hogwarts Legacy was cross-gen, but its PS4 version didn't even arrive until May 5th. Hogwarts Forbidden West expansion, Burning Shores is only PS5, and Spider-Man 2 will once again arrive once it arrives later this year, supportably around September, which I still can't wait for that. And as well, we're probably going to see once again a lot more console sales around the Final Fantasy 16 release, Final Fantasy 16 bundle. We might even see a Spider-Man bundle too as well. So the PS5's momentum also comes without any news about upgraded or streamlined versions of the hardware similar to the PS4 Pro and Slim. So basically, we still know that these consoles are still doing great, even with that potentially being looming around the corner. Or announcements of any new major franchises too as well. So these might be finally coming out soon. They say we aim to continue creating new IPs, rolling out catalog titles for PC, and strengthening our live game service development. Sony wrote, though it's forecasting an overall drop in sales of first-party games in 2023. Interestingly enough, but it's also probably because we don't have that many besides Final Fantasy and Spider-Man, which will be probably great and huge bestsellers, but still going to take a little while for that. But we've also kind of been seeing some other news too as well, just a lot of big sales. Like they're even kind of stating over here and claiming that Sony has done it. The PlayStation 5 has had the biggest Q1 for any console in history, shipping the 6.3 stuff. So basically, this could be the biggest thing we've ever seen in console history, which is insane to go and see. Don't forget, this is also a global brand, but as well as just a lot of people. Same thing too as well, if their revenue's going up, money's going up, we'll probably do a lot more deep dives into the Sony stuff too as well. Now, a bit more of a continuation on the big stories where I've actually had quite a few of my friends go check out Star Wars. I'll be playing Star Wars myself if you guys want to follow up on Twitch. Obviously, Star Wars Jedi Survivor PS5 bugs will thankfully be still addressed. I kind of made a big warning video yesterday discussing that a lot of issues are still prevalent for it. And it kind of goes to show that, well, yeah, there's still a lot of issues. I've seen some people, and like some people who have to literally restart their PC every hour or so because there's a big memory leak issue. People out in consoles are still having issues nonetheless. There was a big patch that came out that didn't make things better, but it didn't fully fix this situation. And now that the game's fully out, a lot more folks are bringing the stuff on up and discussing on it. So basically, this one over here too, we're like a lot of folks like the game, but it really does need more patches just these next few weeks, and I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more at Respawn to be committing to like them going overdrive and working really hard to make sure all the game is going to be running as best as it can. But I'll check it out today to let you guys know how it kind of goes to go. And as well, looks like From Software, Elden Ring's developer, Dark Souls, etc., wants to release even more big and major crazy games as well. And honest to God, these games have been very, very good. Armored Core coming out later on this year on August 25th, the brand new Elden Ring DLCs, and I'm sure there's other Dark Souls style games coming out in the near future that are also being worked on too as well. So I'm extremely excited because it's probably one of my favorite game developers and publishers as of right now. So give me your thoughts and comments on the huge PlayStation 5 takeover and everything else in between, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Subscribe if you guys are new, and of course check out the Amazon links down below, and I appreciate you all so much for watching here in the first place.